Hi, so in this video I want to talk about zero COVID, and I've been really reluctant to make this video, but Laowhy86's recent video just tipped me over the edge. I just realized that I had to make some kind of content about this issue. So the issue is is COVID, zero COVID in China, is it a good policy or is it a bad policy? So if you've clicked on the video, you know, in a sense, my position, but my position is fairly nuanced. You know, I've thought it through. You know, I really have thought it through. Now, yesterday I had a great day. I was swimming in the canals, and then I had a couple of beers with a couple of mates, made a couple of new friends. But anyway, I just want to get to the very specific nature of this issue. And look, it's all very well to sort of talk about zero COVID as something that's impossible, or something that is not going to be achieved. You know, I mean, zero COVID itself is obviously a little bit of a slogan. A better name for the policy would be minimal COVID. That would be a more accurate name. And why do I support zero COVID, or another way of putting it, minimal COVID? China has a lot of, everybody knows China has a lot of older people. Everybody knows that. China obviously has a lot of older people, but China has a lot of smokers. China has a lot of smokers. And even if you just look at the population as a whole, if Omicron takes out, the numbers are so big, you know, so that's why I support it, you know. And also, the people who are doing it tough are the people that are living in 30-story buildings, and they get the elevator down to the bottom, and there's a guy there that says, no, you can't go out, or you can only exercise in your community, or whatever. And I understand that, you know, I understand how frustrating that would be. Now, where I live in a 5-story building area, you know, one of the older communities. Am I afraid about a lockdown? Yeah, I am. You know, I'm not into it. You know, I don't think anybody is. But do I support minimal COVID? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do, definitely. You know, and I support it because a lot of older guys would get taken out by it. That's 100% sure. Not only older men, but older women as well. I also know, everybody knows that there is a certain percentage of younger guys, you know, guys in their 20s, that would get taken out by it. So, I mean, if you're a reasonable, sensible government, I mean, you're going to be aiming for minimal COVID. I mean, I don't think the United States or other Western countries were sort of you know, let's just let everybody die. I don't think it was like that, but it's been talked about like it was that, you know. And the Chinese, their policy of minimal COVID, it is annoying. I've got a test here, you know, I had to get a test. I was, you know, last night I was at the bar with my mates, and I got messaged by my manager, you got to go get a test, I hate getting the tests, you know, I hate paying for the tests, I hate lining up for the tests. I had to line up for an hour the other day, and I had to go to the bathroom, you know, I just had to. It was tough, and I got to the front of the line. Fortunately, there were a couple of people who were sort of waiting in line in front of me. But this is another great story. I mean, my social ID card, or my social insurance card, I accidentally dropped it. Somebody picked it up, gave it to me, so that's pretty nice. I mean, I'm not going to make a separate video about that, but yeah, it's a nice little story. But look, you've got guys like Laowhy86, and they're against zero COVID because they have the attitude that it's my body, I decide when I get a test, I decide when I leave my house to get a test. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's not easy for me as an Australian to kind of argue with that kind of perspective, you know. I really understand that perspective, but at the same time, the exigency of the situation in China is such that, yeah, I mean, if you weren't to have mass testing, you would have so much community spread. I mean, when you don't have mass testing, whether it be voluntary or compulsory, it's in a scientific sense, it's the same. When you don't have mass testing, the virus is basically out of control. Like, you've got no control of the virus. You're just sort of like, how many people have died? How many people have been admitted to hospital? That's sort of all the information that you have. And I guess what mass testing really is, it's information. Like, it's feeding the information machine. So there's guys and girls, there's people up there who are sort of getting this information and saying, okay, we've got this many cases. I am not privy to their meetings. I don't know what they talk about in those meetings, but in any conflict or any situation, you're always better off having more information than less. So I view it like that. Like, I don't like lining up to get a test. I mean, it's not something that I enjoy, but in the sense that these people are just looking for information, yeah, it is what it is. Like, I've become like a piece of data to them. Everybody has, and they're studying it and they're watching it move, and that's sort of like exactly what they're doing. Now, Laowhy sort of has the idea that, like, it's going to be some sort of like stress test for war. I mean, he just can't stop beating the drums of war. He can't stop because Laowhy86 is a sort of a warmonger in a sense. He just can't stop talking about war, and he can't stop fantasizing about the leadership of China. When you're a foreigner in China, like, I am a foreigner in China, like he was a foreigner in China, I am a foreigner in China. The government of China is the government of a country of which I'm a guest. Like, it's that simple. Like, I'm not a Chinese citizen. So when he goes on and on about the leadership of China, look, that's an affair for the Chinese people. I'm here to work. I'm here to enjoy the culture of China, the people of China, the geography of China, whatever. But I'm not here to, like, change the government of China. That's up to them. That's up to them to decide about that. And conjecturing about what the leaders of China think about this or the leaders of China think about that, it's fantasist stuff. And I've been saying this for a long time. He is a bit of a fantasist. I would like to see him get a PhD in Chinese and study something very specific and get involved in it. But this idea that he has that the pandemic is sort of like a stress test for war or whatever, or punishing Shanghai, it's really like nutcase stuff. It's nutcase stuff. The information that you're getting, from media sources of like people flipping out or people being angry, it's not good, but at the end of the day, stuff like that happens every day. It's not like it doesn't happen every day. Now, Nathan Rich made a video where he sort of said, oh, everybody supports it. I don't think anybody supports lockdowns. But look, as an intelligent person, or as a person who's trying to appear intelligent, when you're talking about mass testing, you're talking about data, you're talking about information. Okay, am I willing to give information? Am I willing to give data? Yeah, I am. And working for a university, you sort of like because they assume, well, we can find that information. It's not even a fight. We can just ask employees of state-owned companies, or we can ask university teachers or high school teachers, whatever. They have to have a test. We can get that information. But other people, yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's really tough organizing all of this stuff. And the people who organize it in China, I do take my hats off to them, because that's another myth. The Chinese are passive, or they just like let people push them around, or they let themselves be. It's not like that at all. The Chinese are very assertive, strong people, and I think like some of the media that's coming out of Shanghai has really shown that. But that's not like particular to Shanghai. Like, that's just what the Chinese people are like. That's what they're like. They don't like being pushed around. They don't like being told what to do. So when they give their consent to their government to sort of like manage the situation, that's a big thing. And I think that in the end, like, it's always preferable to have a couple of guys having like tantrums versus hundreds of thousands of people dead. And that is the situation. That is the situation. It's not a good situation, but it is what it is. It is the situation that they have. So that's all I wanted to say. I hope everybody's well.